only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I am Officer Kevin.
And I'm Taxman Grant. It's tax season, baby.
I like the another new Grant character, Grant Sona. How exciting for our listeners.
Yeah, I gotta do this to keep myself mentally motivated to act like a person.
This is what a therapist would come in and kind of say, like, Grant, are these characters sort of a way of you coping with difficult situations and stress in your life?
Everything.
Now, what would you say?
I would say everything's coping with stress in my life. Like this podcast in and of itself. Humor in general is just sort of like a big coping mechanism, but that's neither here nor there.
It's relevant enough. You know, we're here doing bits and riffs and everything, trying to keep our heads on straight. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to a brand new guest to our fine show, because today we have Robby Rackleff on the show. How are you, Robbie?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on. Beautiful Saturday morning here in Los Angeles. Happy to be in front of a computer instead of being outside.
Yeah, I'm sure, we're getting our work out of the way early today. Again, this is a rare Saturday morning recording once again. I don't hate the Saturday morning recording, to be honest, Grant, because I wake up, I feel more refreshed. I haven't been beaten down by the workday of whatever Thursday or Wednesday we decide to record on. I got my Mean Bean Monster Java on hand, keeping me pumped and ready.
I got a complaint.
And primed.
I always have a complaint to make. The fact that it's so bright outside makes me look like a ghost right now.
Well, you are wearing sunglasses again, and it is nearly the morning for us. Yeah, it does look very bright over by you.
It's too bright.
Blindingly so.
I think you look like you look like you're in one of those future movies from the aughts, like Minority Report or something.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm going for.
Not the odds,
exactly
Grant,
what I'm going for.
You could look like a side character from like Johnny Mnemonic or something.
Hell yeah. That's all that I want to be in life.
Westworld.
As a side character from Johnny Mnemonic. Yeah.
But Robbie, you are a member of the comedy troupe Wham City Comedy, which I know is on a hiatus at the moment. But I did want to talk about that because that is how I know you. I think the first time I saw you guys perform was in Chicago, maybe like in 2015 or something. I think it was 7 Minutes in Purgatory.
Oh, I don't know if golly.
You might have been remote or something like that, because it was like when they do the 7 minutes in Purgatory and then somebody's like on a screen. Because no, I think you guys were there because it was on the roof of the hideout, wasn't it?
So I think that maybe I don't think I was there for that one. I think that maybe Ben and Alan possibly were there, but
I know for sure Alan was there. Yeah, because I know Alan had on the sort of the whole goblin get up, but that show I went and rewatched it on the Comedy Central rebroadcast, and I know for sure you were on that one. It was you and Ben, Ben O'Brien, doing the Italian restaurant.
Yes, so that was that was when they shot 7 Minutes in Purgatory in Brooklyn, and we went up for that. So I was there. I'm confused. Did they broadcast that in Chicago also when it was live?
No, I think that was a different one, because I remember seeing it on Comedy Central, and it was the same like bit you guys did in Chicago, but the whole gimmick of 7 Minutes in Purgatory, because that was what Ian. I forget his last name.
Abramson,
very funny guy. But that was my first exposure to Wham City Comedy. How long had you guys been doing that for? Now, to be clear, that's it started with you, Alan Resnick, and Ben O'Brien, all out of Baltimore.
It started in Baltimore. It actually started with Ben and this other kid, Mason Ross, who's out here now too. But it was a weekly comedy show that we did at this club where Ben and I worked the door. And we just started booking comedy show, or he just started booking comedy shows there, calling it Wham City Comedy. And then it sort of evolved into this touring group that I think our first tour was probably 2010, and it was insane what we did. It was a 4-hour-long variety show with 20 people, not 20, but maybe like 10 or 12. And we all were on a school bus driving around, we kind of did the whole loop up to, drive up to Toronto from Baltimore, hit New York, Philly, et cetera, come back down through Detroit, Chicago. And it was really fun, but it was really crazy. And when I think about those shows and how bananas they were, I just wonder how the hell I managed to become any sort of adult afterwards and not just falling into some sort of weird pit. I don't know, filled with teeth. I can't think of. It was a weird time, is what I'm going to say. It was an intense time. We did a show. We did a 4-hour-long comedy show in someone's punk house's living room in not St. Louis, the other one, Cleveland, and it was to 3 people. One of whom was the person who lived in the house who didn't want us there and was drunk for the entire show and just completely heckled us to hell.
Jesus.
Yeah. So,
all the way to Cleveland for that.
All the way to Cleveland for that. One of the other guys, was hoarding 4 Locos. That's the other thing I remember about Cleveland at that time.
Oh, yeah, because for a while there was the band 4 Locos. The what do they call those?
That were killing people?
Yeah.
Yes, the murderous 4 Locos that were they had to take out the caffeine. Hey, I can't blame the guy. Those were good.
Yeah. He seemed happy.
But yeah, you guys in addition to doing the touring and stuff, you guys did a lot of, like I said, funny videos and everything. Mm-hmm. I know one of my favorites in particular was I think the parking garage one.
Oh yeah,
I think Alan was in that one.
Yeah, that was Alan, and he had made that for a art show that was in that parking garage.
Oh, okay.
In Baltimore.
And I know, with the live shows and everything. Yeah, I know that I met you in Chicago back in, I want to say 2016 or 2017 or something, and you had a sketch that made me laugh so fucking hard, and I'm wearing the shirt for it right now, actually. The Best Buy Florida sketch. Mm-hmm. Man, that was one of those. I had to come up to you afterwards. I'm like, man, that was I just had to be that was so funny. I was laughing my ass off. I've thought about it so many times since then. I know I think you guys put up a kind of a similar version on YouTube, but just the storytelling on display was just, I was you're talking about the Florida Everglades or something like that, then it turned into the first Best Buy in town. It's this truly horrific tale.
Yeah, so it wasn't the Everglades. I grew up in North Florida, in and around Tallahassee, sure. And I just remember that when Best Buy, Tallahassee is, it's the capital city, and there's a lot of it. Sometimes it feels fairly, I guess, modern and connected to the world, but you don't have to go very far outside of the main downtown area to feel like you're fallen into some sort of antediluvian wilderness. And I remember when the Best Buy came, it was just such a huge deal. It was we finally are now a city. We are real. We are connected. I think there was the Best Buy came at the same time. They had a direct flight to JFK in New York City for a year that no one used. And it was just they had these weird little pushes into modernity that I thought were so.
When around was that? What year?
I want to say 2002, 2003.
Okay, so just enough time to go into town, get an Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's ever since, every time I go back, there's fewer and fewer people in the Best Buy.
Yeah, sad story, man. That's the best, gone the way of Best Buy, unfortunately. But trying to think what else. Yeah, because I know you guys were also doing some Adult Swim streaming stuff for a while. Mm-hmm. What was that? God, there was that one thing you guys did with the call-in special. Mm-hmm. was it Troll? I'm forgetting the name. Sorry, it was Troll Day or something.
So we actually did two, and the first one was called The Cry of Man, and with two N's, and the second one was called The Call of War, with two R's, and they were essentially originally pitched to be just a call-in soap opera, where it would just be sort of a regular soap opera. We'd write it in a funny way and be overacting and silly about it. But ultimately, there would be a plot that people could call in and interrupt throughout the show's episodes. We did like 2 weeks of live shows, which is insane, because those were essentially 10 almost fully written episodes that people were literally memorizing the day before they went and shot the show. So it was a nightmare that I put these people through. And
it was worth it for us to watch.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, I think it was a lot of fun for the audience. I mean, I actually skipped over a part, but what happened was, so we had this relatively simple idea, which was just a soap opera spoof. And then Super Deluxe came out with a live soap opera that they had streamed on Facebook, and it was a different. It was relatively. There was a lot of
Super Deluxe also gone the way of Best Buy, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately, but there was close enough that we didn't want to do just a standard soap opera anymore. So I basically just took a long weekend train trip up to Montreal and just wrote a completely different show that was this weird kind of Dark Shadows, sort of pseudo science fiction, sort of it's still a soap opera, but with just a lot of like other elements thrown into it. And the biggest change was that instead of having phones that were just kind of regular phones throughout the set that people would call, you had a world where people don't actually know what phones are. So when all of a sudden these phones started showing up throughout the different rooms, like people were just like had no idea like what to do with them. And over time they sort of learned how to deal with them, and the plot takes numbers of turns as a result.
Yeah, I think like you guys, like you took an already very interesting and clever concept, and then you added the interactive element on top of that, and like that's the stuff that I definitely gravitate towards. Is the stuff that's like there's like layers and boundaries and stuff to it, and it also has this, and I hate to use this term, so whatever, because I feel like it gets thrown around a lot, but I feel like it has a very like Lynchian tone to it too. It's sort of kind of like dark and disturbing, but also weird and kind of funny and very dreamlike.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like Twin Peaksy, but I didn't want that to be sort of like boxed in, sort of.
There's a reason that's a point of reference. I mean, I also definitely think it's not. It's certainly deserved, and we've all been fans of that over the years. I mean, I said Dark Shadows at the top because that was something that I was really obsessed with as a kid, because at my local library you could check out Dark Shadows VHS tapes, and I just remember thinking it was such a bizarre and weird show, and why are there like 200 episodes? And I just like, even though I was probably 8 or 9 years old, I was watching these things with no clue of what was happening. So it was kind of a drawback to that.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one. Grant, have you seen that one?
I have not, but I know that they did like the reboot of it with Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah,
was that any good?
Tim Burton reboot. I have no idea. No, it was.
I figured
probably not.
Dark Shadows was like it was basically an old British Hammer horror show, horror TV show, and it's about like a vampire who's just like living with a family. It's almost, I mean, it's a soap opera, but it feels like a sitcom, is what I will say.
Hey, that sounds about right. And that sounds exactly what you guys were going for with Call of Man. And definitely came through. But I also want to move on to the new film you are making with Alan Resnick, Dance Freak.
Yeah.
Now, this is something I'm very excited for because, obviously I've enjoyed all the content you guys have put out over the years. I saw that Wham City was going on a hiatus, and I'm like, man, I wish I would love to see more from you guys. And then it's like, oh, well, here it is, Dance Freak. Now, Grant, are we able to pull up the trailer and watch that here?
I think I should be able to.
Or is that going to be...
No, let me do that real quick.
So before we begin watching the trailer for Dance Freak, Robbie, is there anything you want to tee it up with?
No, I mean, I think let's just watch the trailer and then I'll kind of talk about how it has gotten to the point where it is now.
Cool.
Well, let's speak for itself.
Yeah.
See, I like this because it's already reminding me of kind of the Best Buy sketch a little bit.
Have you been beaten, crushed, grinded down by life? Are people mean? Do they make fun of you? Are you unlucky? Have you fucked up your whole life? In your darkest moments, have you ever wished for something insane to take over your body so that you could do whatever you wanted for once? That you could live a life with no limits. You could be bad. You could freak out. That you could kill 9 people. Does that scare you? This is a real movie that me and my friend Alan want to make. But first, you got to give us a lot of money. It's going to look good. Black and white, moody as hell. It's going to sound weird. Really loud sound effects, music that's so out of this world, you're going to think that you're on another planet. We're going to edit it like long edits first and then a bunch of short edits. It's going to make you dizzy.
I love that line.
Megan Keister said she'd be in it. She's funny.
I can't hear it.
But this
It's
isn't
gonna
a
be long
comedy.
edits
This
first
is
and then
Dance
short
Freak.
edits.
And Dance Freak is going to lean in, grab you by the throat, pull you close, and tell you, revenge is cool, but so is redemption. And also, if someone's trying to break up with you, it's best to just cut them loose and not drag them into your shit. My name is Robby Rackleff. Give us money right now.
Shut up and take my money.
Got it.
Shut up and dance. Dance Freak.
Yeah.
All right.
There it is. That's the promo for Dance Freak. Not really a trailer. I realize that we probably use that word incorrectly, but
Teaser, trailer, what's the difference?
Yeah, something to get people excited about the concept of giving me and Alan $20.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly excited. I pledged on your Indiegogo campaign for it this past week when I saw it go up, and we'll also include a link to the fundraiser in the episode description. So just if you're watching this on YouTube, scroll down. If you're watching this on some other podcasting app, also scroll down. You'll find the link. Check it out. It's going to be good.
Google it.
If I remember correctly, Robbie, you also I think I saw you posted Stavros Halkias is going to be in it.
Yeah. Stav.
Yeah.
I wanted him to. I had a couple parts that I thought he might be good for that I wrote, so I just sent him the outline, and we just had a nice conversation. I know Stav from back in Baltimore, and it always kind of shocks me when.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
When when I just saw Stav was just like this real mean son of a bitch that made fun of me whenever I saw him. So it's always I guess a tasty irony that he's found the success that he has, but more power to him.
In the way that he has, yeah.
Yeah, God loves a Greek man.
I know we got a lot of crossover with fans of Cumtown as well. So if you want to see Stav in a movie that's going to be good, check it out. Donate to Dance Freak. Again, the link to the fundraiser will be in the episode description.
I think fans of Stav are gonna like his scenes. Is all I'll say.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a little bit of show news of our own, Grant. We have a new Fire Brothers episode out. I don't know why I called it Fire Bros. I'm supposed to call it Fire Bros. I've never called it Fire Brothers, ever. Don't know why that came out of my mouth. But you can find that over on patreon.com/thoughtcops. We reviewed
Super
the Batman
Fire Brothers. You know, like the old Smash Bros.
Melee! Oh,
Anyway, a Batman.
We reviewed the Batman, Titan, Joe Pera Talks With You Season 1, and Hot Rod. If you want to hear the definitive takes on all 4 of those movies, again, a very clear, cohesive collection of media.
Yeah. If you want
to, it's all themed together appropriately.
If you want to continue the conversation, go ahead and join our Discord. You can go to the Fire Bros channel in the Discord and watch me and Josh continue our argument about Titan and see the wacky and crazy and weird turns that took. Yeah,
I was going to say, too, if you haven't joined our Discord yet, we also include a link to that in all of our episode descriptions. That's always a fun time. I see some people in there right now listening to the live episode. Again, thank you. You can also get access to that via patreon.com/thoughtcops. Dilbert text in the chat says, did anyone watch that movie where Stav was a cult leader?
No.
I heard about it, but I haven't seen it. I think that was also pretty recently, too. Huh. It was like the Salesman or something like that.
Yeah. I haven't watched it. He was also in. He had a funny little bit role in this great comedy movie that came out of Brooklyn recently called Inspector Ike, where it's like he's like in a weird theater troupe in it, and he's just really funny. He's a really
remember
is truly a multifaceted talent. Excuse me.
Yeah, his wasn't his first on-screen debut with Wham City on Adult Swim.
Yeah, geez. He played a crime scene cleaner in Unedited Footage of a Bear. You can see him in the background of one of the principal scenes of that movie, or short.
A lot of classics and stuff. But yeah, like I said, head on over to our Discord server. It's a good time. And if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. I assume that helps the metrics of the show, helps people find us.
Maybe it doesn't, but do it anyway.
A 5-star. Yeah. I can't see it hurting, though, Grant, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
I can't see somebody leaving a 5-star review and they're just going to hide that from people, you know?
Right.
I can't claim to understand how it fully works, but I'm going to assume it doesn't work that way. So leave us a 5-star review. And again, if you leave one on iTunes, you can also leave a written review with it, and we will read it on the show.
Haven't done one in a while, but we I don't know. There might be some, there might not be, but
there might be. We probably should have checked it before recording, but that just means we're gonna have a whole lot more to check next time.
We got other eggs to crack. We got
Speaking of other eggs to crack. Speaking of, Saturday morning, we're cracking eggs. We're making some breakfast here, Grant. Let's move on to 2 Minutes of Hate, that very famous, very favorite segment of the show in which we like to blanket punish all that annoying random crap that we see on our cell phones and our computer screens every single day of the week. So without further ado, my 2 Minutes of Hate this week is... again, a more relatable one that's not so fringe and weird like some people have been complaining about. But mine this week is city websites. They're always bad.
Yeah.
Got a parking ticket recently. Oh,
yeah.
Oopsie, got a parking ticket. They're doing street cleaning, and I got one of those orange slips under my windshield. City of Chicago left it there. And it's one of those things, you get it, and it's like, it's such a fucking pain in the ass to fight, and it's, it's $60. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. And I want to also give a shout out. I think that I mentioned again in the Discord that
right.
That was thank you to the Patreon for paying for my parking ticket. I do appreciate that.
and to John Elizabeth Stincy for donating to the Kevin's parking ticket fund.
Yes. Thank you. But in order to use that money I've received to pay my ticket, of course, I have to either mail it in, which I'm not going to be doing that, obviously, or I have to go to the city's website. And why is every city's website so horrible? Every government website is so confusing to go through. I don't know, Robbie, have you ever had a parking ticket in Los Angeles or had to visit the City of Los Angeles website before, or Baltimore website?
The Baltimore website, yes, and it was sort of the same thing. I sort of attribute it to good old-fashioned corruption. Just they go with some contractor that's just bid that they've got this great new software and it's got all these freaking buttons on it, and it's just going to be fantastic, and everybody's going to be able to use it, and it's $500,000 less than the next guy, so that's who they go with.
Yeah. And it's like, what are we going to do? It's like, we have to come on there and pay the bills. So it's like, what they know they got us in a corner.
Yeah, exactly. I will say that Los Angeles has a slightly better electronic civic. What do you call it? It's like they if you want
user interface.
Yeah, they've got a few good apps. If I got bulk trash I need to get picked up, it's relatively simple. In Baltimore, it was hell. But I hear you, man. I know exactly how frustrating it is to go through these GeoCity era websites.
That's exactly
your browser probably isn't even compatible with.
Right.
Yeah, so anyway, I have to log on. I got to go to angelfire.com/Chicago/parking or whatever the hell it is. And it's one of those things where I already have such low expectations for coming on here. I haven't had to pay a parking ticket in maybe like 6 or 7 years, thankfully. And it's one of those things where I'm like, how much you want to bet if I go on here, nothing is going to be changed. It's still going to feel like something from 2002. And it's going to be nearly impossible to navigate, nearly impossible to find the portal where I enter the dollar amount where to pay my ticket. And while it wasn't the worst website I've ever been on, it's still pretty bad. So it's one of those things where, again, the most necessary websites are always the worst. I know a friend of the show, Nico, has called in a few times and complained about I think it's the Illinois unemployment. Yeah.
Because I
know, Grant, you had some issues with that too.
Similar problems, and not nearly as bad as whatever her problems were. But I remember, beginning of pandemic, everything shuts down. Everyone gets fired from their jobs. Everyone's on unemployment. And I was one of those people. And it's like immediately website not ready to take on all this traffic. It was just down for weeks,
Mm-hmm.
They finally get it working, and like Kevin was saying, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you sign up for it, you put in your username, your login, stuff like that, you hit enter, and it just refreshes the page, and it's like, what the fuck? Okay, so you put in all your information again, it just refreshes.
Did you take
the
my
page.
money, or?
And it's
Yeah.
And so then you keep trying, and then you change your password, you change your username, you do all these things, and then it takes you to a different page, and it's like, where's the page where I do the thing that is the reason that I'm signing up for this website? And then eventually it works, and then you go through and you fill everything out and whatever, and then you do it wrong because nobody knows how to fucking do it, and then you call them and they say, yeah, everyone's having the same problem you are because nobody knows how to use this website. And it's like, maybe you guys, if you have this website, you should help people. You should have a website that works, and that especially when people need money and there's a global pandemic and people are worried about getting evicted and shit like that, maybe have a website that works when people need your unemployment money, because we all just got fired from our jobs,
Right, and it's you can shut down Twitter or whatever. I don't know if that's how it works. We got to save bandwidth somehow. I'm electing you can shut down Twitter because, Twitter seems to be able to take a lot. The only time I've ever seen Twitter go down was after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock and the website stopped working. However, the city website, when people are out of a job, out of money, need some help, that breaks within minutes, because we all it's more important to get our fucking Oscar slap joke out on Twitter than it is to receive rent money, basically.
Well, what you're saying reminds me of an article I read sort of a while ago, and I think it had to do with this stigma of porn websites and how everyone thinks you're gonna get a virus from a porn website or something like that, and that in reality the weird ironicism,
I like that.
The weird ironicism of that is one of the easiest places to get a virus online is from church websites, which is just the juxtaposition between the two. Yeah, because it's always it's a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing, that don't put a lot of money into it, that just get hacked left and right, that your data is more exposed to something like that than like a multi-billion-dollar porn industry, you know, who like wants you to keep using their website, and like church websites. And I don't know if it's the same like for state websites or anything like that, but like, because I'm assuming it's probably like a federal crime to like fuck around with that. But it just sort of goes to show you like, yeah, you put money into something, usually it works out. You don't put any money into something, usually not so great.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Well, I was just thinking about how when I used to teach college, the thing that I absolutely hated about teaching, not the most, but one of the top 5 was the email services that you had to use to be a teacher at a given school. And every school had a completely different set of software UIs that you had to figure out, and everything was sort of like, yeah, you can also do your grades through here, but we're also just gonna like make sure that like people can chat through here. And I was just like, no, I just want to like use Google, just gonna use my Gmail.
Right, yeah.
Please just set up a Gmail account. I'll do it all through that. Eventually I did
it could have been so simple.
It should have been so simple.
Yeah, especially
there needs to be like some cohesion, you know. It's like you said, like Baltimore is different than Los Angeles, which is probably different from Chicago, which is probably different from New York.
Yeah, we
need to just have like some infrastructure to have this all be the same and have it all good, and it should work as well as any fucking Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and probably even better, to be honest.
Hey, you're talking about centralizing power in a federal republic, so watch yourself.
You know,
unbelievable.
I was going to say my punishment is, in addition to doing that, Robbie, it's going to be like that episode of Evangelion when they have to shut down all of Japan's power levels to power up the rifle to shoot that giant blue cube.
Sure.
We have to, anytime this happens, if there's ever another pandemic, if there's ever another mass unemployment, we shut down YouTube, we shut down Facebook, Twitter, everything, and we all focus it into just powering up the website that we use to pay our parking tickets, and hopefully we get our unemployment money too.
I love that. It also makes me think of Macross or Robotech.
You see, I'm a bit of a mech anime pleb. I'm one of those guys who I've seen Evangelion, I've seen Gurren Lagann. There's a lot of classic mechs that I need to watch. And I want to watch because it's like I just recently rewatched Evangelion, so it was like fresh in my mind. But yeah, those are definitely up there, as well as like most of the good Gundam series.
You could probably skip Robotech, to be honest.
Skip. Okay, noted.
Yeah.
But Robbie, we don't want to skip you though. So I'd like to hear what you have to share with the class. Any 2 minutes of hate?
My big thing was I actually don't spend that much time on the internet, and so, but when I do,
that's good.
When I do the thing that has been bugging me the most, and this isn't really, it's just all the Elden Ring stuff. I don't have time to play Elden Ring, and it's driving me nuts. And all my feed is just filled with, well, half of it's filled with like Twitter, transit Twitter. That's the other kind of node that really fills up my feed whenever I open it. But the Elden Ring
transit
stuff,
Twitter,
yeah. So I'm obsessed with. I'm like a train person.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I just follow all these different people who just write little think pieces about Boston's new trolley extension, or Chicago's always on there because everybody's complaining about the CTA, and then
I was gonna say, it's funny you mentioned that. I was just like, I went like on a 30-minute rant to my girlfriend the other day about like how the CTA and the L system. I'm looking at a map here I actually have on my wall.
Hell yeah.
Did you steal that from?
Let me see if I can.
Did you commit a crime to get that?
No, it's somebody.
That's beautiful.
Remade it like Super Mario World.
Yeah.
And I bought that at a comic convention in Chicago a number of years back. But I was like saying how all of the train lines like go to the loop, and then you have, if you want to just take the train, you got to go like all the way to the loop and up north again. When there should be like a system that goes all the way around, kind of in a more like, there should be also circular lines too.
Yeah, that's actually that's a common thread on the CTA people's complaints. Is that there's not real. This also is true with the people in Brooklyn too, because everything is designed to bring people into the city center. But when you have
right,
essentially the city's evolving to be a little bit more decentralized, then you
exactly
need some way to actually get people out around the outer rings and suburbs and what have you.
Kevin, you're forgetting that we're one of the most racially segregated cities in fucking America, and that like there's fucking reasons why people do and don't want to build through certain areas.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Grant. I forgot.
I mean, that's such like a big precursor to so much of that shit. Is just like, just because we redlined the city not too long ago, and everyone's still racist, so.
Yeah,
I mean, and then like the train system's also out of date too. It's like like you mentioned, like a lot of people would have to exclusively go downtown,
right,
to do everything. But now there's so much, like you said, Robbie, is decentralized. But I didn't mean to get so hung up on the transit topic. That was something that I'm like, this has been on my mind recently, and I have seen some of those Twitter posts too.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't bother me one bit because I'll talk trains all day long.
But Elden Ring, and
you said you said you had FOMO from Elden Ring.
Yeah, I guess it's just Elden Ring. Well, now I can't stop thinking about trains. That's
we can talk trains.
Let's talk trains. I mean, I don't like all the Elden Ring stuff.
Hey, choo-choo, let's go.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. I'm a big train person. I've taken every cross-country line on the Amtrak system and sort of like slowly working my way through all the different commuter lines. So when I say cross-country, I mean any train that goes overnight. And when I say commuter, it's basically like, there's a train that goes from Savannah, Georgia to New York, and that's like, even though that's like a 12-hour ride, that's still, I consider that commuter. But that
seems like kind of like a fun, yeah.
Honestly, that's like one of those things. That's one of those things that I feel like I want to do more of. Is just like get on a train and take a train trip, and it's just like expensive and just like difficult to do, and like we have such a like shitty train system in America compared to like other countries where they have like bullet trains and like trains that'll take you 1,000,000 miles in like an hour. It's like you
have you been to Japan, Robbie?
Over.
Yes. Yeah, I've been to Japan.
Did you take the Shinkansen?
I did. Yes. The last time, not the last time I was there, but my wife and I took it from Tokyo to Osaka, and it was
that's what I did.
Yeah, it is a crazy feeling to be on one of those things because you're just not used to feeling that. I guess is it G-force? Like when the train really picks up speed and you can kind of feel it in your chest a little bit. You're used to that, maybe feeling that feeling on an airplane, but when you feel it on the ground, it's very disorienting. But
it takes a second to get used to.
But it was fantastic, and I also I really love the transit system around the Kyoto, Osaka area because
in Tokyo especially the JR system.
Definitely. But it's just there's so many different types of trains, and they're all relatively efficient, and it just never feels like you're far from a subway station or even just like an overground station, and I love it.
Now that being said, Robbie, as a resident of Los Angeles and Angelino yourself, how do you feel about the transit system in Los Angeles?
I would say that it is, it's getting there. It's not getting. It's never. We're never going to be Tokyo. I've put my.
I don't see that happening.
I don't. But,
yeah.
So I live up in Northeast LA in a neighborhood called Highland Park, and I'm within about a 15-minute walk to a train station, and the train that is nearest to us goes downtown, goes through Chinatown, Little Tokyo, and connects to the subway and a few other, and also the main Union Station.
Oh, I think I've taken that same train.
It's like it's a good service.
So I feel like my biggest issue with Los Angeles is the lack of a very good public transit system, and like from the times I've been there, I've taken the train, I've taken like the Gold Line and the other stuff they have in the area, but as a resident of Chicago, it's not quite as good as it is here. I mean, not many places are, I guess, but that's been the one thing where it's like, if there's such a huge traffic problem in Los Angeles, why not just keep making the trains better? And they keep saying for years they're going to do that, you know?
Yeah. They're doing one of the bigger upgrades that they're doing right now is something called the Regional Connector, which is essentially a tunnel that will sort of streamline these three different metro lines into two mega lines, I guess. And I don't know I use the word mega, they're just lines. But essentially, one of the things I did a lot when I first moved here was I would work up until about 3:00 in the afternoon, and then I would get on the train and I would go to the beach at Santa Monica and go swimming, and just kind of swim until sundown. And it was, or like go boogie boarding or something like that. It was really something that made the move out here feel like it was worth it. But you have to get to the line that goes from downtown LA to Santa Monica, you have to basically take the train to Union Station, the Gold Line train to Union Station, get on the subway, ride like 3 stops, and then get off the subway and get onto the. It's these 2 transfers that basically adds like 20 minutes onto your ride, no matter what. So this will take that out. So it's just 1 transfer. And to me, that's a big deal. Just making like a little bit easier for people to get from one part of the city that is served by the train system to the beach.
I mean, I would agree. I mean, like I was speaking about rumors earlier, and we'll get to him later. But Elon Musk has been saying for years he's going to fix the fucking train system in Los Angeles. Yeah. And then it turns out he's like, oh, actually, I'm going to make a train that goes from downtown Chicago to the O'Hare Airport, and it's like, we already have that.
Yeah.
And also his whole idea. But
this one goes faster. I guess.
His whole idea is like, you don't get on a train. You drive your car onto a track, and then your car goes on a track, and then there's a single file track, and it's just like, my guy, that's just a tunnel you've invented. Like, you just invented. This doesn't. Anyway.
He's got.
Yeah, he already had one of those, right? And was it Vegas or something?
Yeah. And I'm sure.
And it's all like lit up. It looks like a small world ride from Disneyland. You're just like on this like track, and there's colors.
Yeah, the amount of fumes you must inhale when you're on one of those things just must really
for real. Yeah.
I don't have anything funny to say about any of this. This is just something that I'm truly interested in.
We're having an intellectual discussion here about trains. I didn't expect to have it, but I feel like I had a lot more to say on it than I thought I did. So let's just say we'll cap it off with the punishment here. We'll fix the transit system. All trains. Hey, taking the train shouldn't be as difficult as a boss in Elden Ring, tying it all together.
Nice.
The train system should be simple. It should be connected. There should be a better circular train system in Chicago. There should be less transfers in Los Angeles, and they should bring the bullet train to America.
Yeah,
done.
Absolutely. Let's just do a few years of fascist autocracy just so we can get the system built, and then we'll switch back to the old, the old system.
It seems simple enough to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of simple, though, Grant, I don't know why I said that, but wow, you want to give your 2 minutes of hate? Let's keep it clear and concise too. Yeah. Simple Grant. No. You're talking about what are we talking about here this week?
This week on Thought Cops, my 2 minutes of hate is taxes. That's the whole the tax man Grant. I'm bringing him back. And he's here to complain about taxes. Why do I have to do... I haven't done my taxes yet. Have you guys done your taxes?
Yeah, I did them over a month ago.
Loser. Did you do your taxes, Robbie?
I haven't done it yet.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. They don't... Yeah. I don't have any
my $80.
I don't have any money to give them. I probably owe them money. Like, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's whatever. I don't have a problem... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was going to ask if the city, if the unemployment system let you do a withholding checkbox, so you didn't have to pay any back taxes on any unemployment you received.
I think so. I mean, this is like years ago at this point, which is harrowing to think about.
I guess so. Yeah, I keep thinking that was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just happened.
I don't know what year it is anymore, but I don't have an issue with the paying the taxes. I don't care. Whatever. Oh, you're going to build a bridge or whatever? Well, that's fine. Oh, you're just going to take my money and you're just going to put it in your pocket, give it to a lobbyist? That's fine too. Whatever you want to do. I don't care. That's the societal contract.
You think the politicians give money to the lobbyists?
However it works. I don't know. I'm not an educated man. I'm simple, as Kevin said before. And
I'm right there with you.
I don't get whatever. Take the money, burn it like your Joker. I have no power over it, you know.
He's cool.
Joker's cool. He burns money. He's trying to show a message or what. I get all that, you know. I get the government. I get that there is one and that it does things. And the more things that it does, the closer we are to communism. I get all of that. I don't have a problem with paying the taxes. I have a problem with doing the taxes. Why are we doing taxes? Do I look like an accountant? Do I have one of those stupid visors and an old school
with
calculator?
The transparent green.
Yeah, the transparent green visor and an old school calculator. Do I look like that person? Do I look like a cartoon?
Yeah, Grant, I'm sorry. I don't see an abacus on your desk.
I don't have an abacus.
You should get an
abacus. I don't know QuickBooks.
Yeah, that seems like that would kind of solve your problem here.
Yeah.
And you know, you look at other countries, you know, and other countries like don't have this problem because a lot of times they look at, let's say you work for, I don't know, like a restaurant, right? They don't go, oh, well, you as a worker of the restaurant have to pay all this tax. They just go, oh, you work for a restaurant? Yeah, the restaurant can just do that. Like, they have to keep books and stuff anyway, and you as an individual, like, you're just working for them, so the restaurant can do the taxes, and you just do nothing. You do nothing. In other countries, you do nothing. They just take the money that they know that they like deserve or owe or whatever the fuck. They have the money and they go, this is how much you owe, and then you just either pay that or the place that you work for pays that because they have more money than you do as an individual, and you don't do homework for the government. Why am I doing homework for the government?
Homework sucks.
And it's not even like it's not even the homework where you go, hey, look, I did my homework. It's like they know the homework, and it's one of those classes where they're like, well, it's fine that you got the answer right, but we want you to show your work. Because they already know. Because the IRS already knows how much you owe them. They just want to see your work.
You know, far from a utopian society, the Brits, I think, their tax form is one page. Everybody fills out a one-page tax form every year.
I mean, hell, if they're making us look bad, I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
they're doing it with healthcare and with everything, and just like, why is the greatest country on earth the transit system,
man.
Everything, man? It's a nightmare. It's just like. And this just tops it off because every year you got to do your homework. It's like, I graduated from school. I don't want to do more homework. I'm putting it off to the last minute like I put off all my other homework. I'm probably going to do it wrong. And then if you do your homework wrong, they just throw you in jail.
I would have done the same had I not been like, oh, maybe I'll get $80 more in my bank account if I do this, you know?
I just held off because I thought they were going to push back the deadline again like they did the last couple of years.
Oh, I wish.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't.
I am too. Still time, Joe.
It's just the
we got
doing it.
A couple days.
And it's literally all because like the what do you call it? TurboTax and like the tax agencies and H&R Block and like all these different like there's such a powerful like private tax industry in America that lobbies the government on behalf of like, hey, you can't just take the money because we provide a service of doing this and we pay workers to be accountants. You guys can't just like do the taxes automatically. Like you have to come to H&R Blocks. You have to pay TurboTax so that we can continue making money. And it's just like, why is this the for-profit part? Like, how come the government is already taking the money, but then I need to pay extra money on top of the money that I owe to do my taxes?
Wish I could tell you, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you. I wish I had a good answer for you, Grant,
It's just
but
because there's a
unfortunately, I
vested
don't.
interest in making a profit off of something that everyone needs to do. Everyone needs to pay tax, and why there's money to be made, right? It's just like fucking hell. And you can go to like websites or whatever. You go to government website, and like Kevin said, it sucks and it doesn't work. And you can do your taxes for free if you're a fucking accountant. Like,
If you're a masochist, yeah.
yeah.
Or
Or
Grant,
if you're very poor, like those are the options. Or you just don't pay him at all, and then it's like, I don't, whatever.
It seems
What were you
like
gonna say, Robbie?
this future shock version of Chicago that y'all live in feels very much grounded in the 21st century problems.
Yeah, it's
sort of ironic, isn't it?
The more things change, the more
Change,
things
the more
stay
they
the
say
same.
the same.
Yeah.
Hey, Grant, I hear you. I feel your passion. I do. I really do. I can't do anything for
So,
you.
Grant, what's your punishment? Down with homework? You're going to show up to the bank with that shirt Bart Simpson wears?
Yeah, no, I get that's a good point. My punishment is, oops, my dog ate my taxes. I had done them. I was ready to turn them in, and my dog ate it. He got a hold of it, and like, yeah, I know I owe you guys money, but listen, I filled out the paperwork, and I was going to put it on your desk, but my dog ate it. So I don't know. Maybe you should stop giving me
just
homework.
to let you know, Grant, Leo in the chat here says IRS is offering free filing services on their website.
Right, exactly. Which, like we were saying before.
Hey, Leo, how much you want to bet that website's a fucking, like, nightmare?
Right.
Like something out of the deepest depths of hell.
Yeah.
Like, I get that it's there, but it's also just like this shouldn't be like the fucking reality that we're all in. Like, I work for a company, have the company do the taxes. They have to do taxes anyway. They can't do like just an extra sort of like payroll tax of like just like withhold a little bit more. Like, you're already doing that. Like, why do I have to do anything?
The craziest thing is that, so I do a lot of freelance and I work from home, so I can do a deduction for my home office. But to do that deduction, I had to get an exact measurement of the floor space of my house and then measure out my office space. And then it was like, and then use that. There's a formula that I can't remember exactly how it works. I'm sure it's a lot simpler than I'm building it up to be. But basically just take all of the, all the rent, utilities, internet, all these kinds of things, and use that formula to deduct like money from for those things from the tax that I owe. And it just seems like I don't know, just give me a flat rate. I'll pay that to just not have to bring out my measuring tape every time I move my studio. My studio.
Just send me,
for my like freelance work, I was like, I guess like for you have to make a certain amount of money under the threshold to have to claim it on your taxes, which I did. And normally I should be upset that I was making less money than I could be with freelance work, but then I was like, oh, at least I don't have to do extra homework.
Right.
You know?
Right. Fuck homework.
Fuck homework. Yeah.
Let's move along.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the main meat and potatoes of the show. So if you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories, and then we sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and quite often unusual punishment. Which one do you want to begin with here, Graham? We got two stories here.
I guess we sort of teased Elon Musk, so let's like be done talking with him earlier. And
as we always say, we always think we're done. So Elon Musk, basically, he's threatening to buy Twitter.
Ooh.
And you know what? I don't know. I'm at a point where I just don't even fucking care anymore. I mean, Twitter is like not so much fun as it used to be. I know that's kind of a weak reason to not care about somebody buying up one of the biggest communication tools in history, but there is a lot of back and forth here. Now, I'm on a link here from The Verge where it's like everything you need to know about the Musk Twitter saga. And
You
basically,
can just take that article and crumple it up and throw it in the garbage because I don't.
That's what I'm saying, because it goes through all these bullet points here, and then one of the last ones is, but is he just trolling?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like what we didn't even. It was one of the stories I think we cut for time recently, Grant, where we thought that. Remember, like, didn't he like join and then leave the Twitter board of executives or something?
What happened was, I don't think that we ended up talking about it, but basically what happened was he's complaining about something. Like, at this point, I don't even know what he's complaining about. That people get banned on Twitter, I guess, and he went, these Twitter bans, they need to stop. I'm gonna put my foot down and I'm gonna buy Twitter. And he did like a poll, like, should I buy Twitter, yes or no? And then people were like, yes, which is a great, like, it's flipping a coin is probably better, but he did a Twitter poll and people said yes. And then so he bought like not a majority, but like he bought more shares than anybody else has in the company. Isn't like a majority over 50%, or am I splitting hairs?
Yeah, I think he bought it for $420.69.
No,
he did.
It was it was like he's the largest shareholder, but it's still only about 10%. Yeah.
Right. It's like 10%. And then since he's the largest shareholder, they were like, do you want a seat on the board of Twitter? Because this is like how decision making like exists in an American capitalist society, is you buy your way onto a board and then you can make any decision you want to. And he said, no, that's okay. Which makes everyone sort of wonder, like, what the fuck? And so now, after refusing to be on the board, now he's like, well, I'm just going to buy the whole thing. How much money do I have in my bank, in my Chase account right now? I have $420 billion. I'll buy it from that. I'll buy it for that. You guys want $420 billion for Twitter? I'll buy the whole thing. He's Harry Potter in the train car buying all the candy for his good friend
Ronald
Weasley. Does Elon Musk have friends?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was gonna say like Grimes,
like
but that's fizzled, I guess.
I mean, that doesn't seem like it's. I don't know if they're friends.
Yeah, I don't think
anymore.
So. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he's threatening to buy up the website. And
like,
I guess he's doing it.
What's going to happen? What's going to change? Like, he's not going to do it. And then even if he does do it, nothing is going to change.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee nothing will change. I mean, like, there may be some small policy, but it's like, this is one of those things people get all up in arms about, like, will he, won't he? And it's like, just,
who cares? Y'all remember when...
I don't know, do anything else.
What's the guy from MySpace? Dave? You remember when Dave sold... Tom. You remember when Tom sold MySpace to, like, Fox News, and that, like, within a year, just nobody used MySpace anymore? Like, that's what's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna sell Twitter. It's gonna go to someone, and then everyone's just gonna be like, I don't really care about this. More people use TikTok than Twitter anyway. TikTok, I think, has 4 or 5 times the user base than Twitter does. And it's just like, why does anybody care about any of this shit? Like,
Robbie, are you on TikTok, or is that something you've sort of
no way
not delved into or choose not to?
No way. I don't share any of my personal information with the commies.
Yeah, I know. Like, it seems like it has a bigger user base, but I feel like I don't know. We just made it.
It's a video platform. I'm sure it seems fun. It seems fine. I certainly enjoy it when people post funny TikTok videos on Twitter. But
I was going to ask, like, if you guys had like, repurposed any like Wham City content to TikTok, or if that's just something you were like, forget it.
People do. I think somebody did like some super cuts of like the Cry Man Call of War stuff. Since that's like,
that's cool.
It's like 14 hours of television there. seeing that some of those nicer fun bits kind of chopped up in that way was enjoyable. But again, I only saw it because someone posted it on Twitter.
Yeah, that's pretty much Twitter or Instagram Reels, which is just TikTok.
It's all.
What was
all
the
these
bridge?
websites
What
are
was the
like
bridge
same
between
shit.
the tax thing and the Twitter takeover?
Oh, just
Or was that just you guys doing the news?
Yeah.
You guys just doing the news of the day?
Yeah.
Far out.
Pretty much.
You guys are great at this.
So anyway,
Oh, thanks.
Very supportive of
hey,
it.
we try.
We've been
We certainly
going
do our
for
best.
long enough.
And I think Grant, a good punishment here is let him buy it, and then we all stop using it.
yeah,
Done.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That's basically the end goal for this show, isn't it? So
Yeah.
hey, man, you're doing our work for us. Well, I'm not even opposed to a return to MySpace, like return with the
Teach
the V
kids how
or
to
the U
code
is a V or
again.
something.
That was like the best aspect of that. Like, sure, it was messy sometimes or whatever, but it's just like, at least you could be more creative with it, you know?
yeah.
Twitter's just
Like, you know how all those guys on
280 characters, type some racism, you know?
You know those guys on Twitter who were like as like an insult or a troll, they're always like, "Hey, learn the code." It's like, yeah, check out my MySpace page.
Yeah, we used to all
I had
know
a background,
how
I
to
had a video player. Yeah,
Forgot about that. You could put videos in the background.
Yeah.
I miss it, man.
You
But
could
let's
have
move on to the next
a
story
profile
here.
song and a video game and a profile video all play at the same time and just like last.
Yeah, probably not the best for the family computer, but
Right.
you know. But you know, we were speaking about the dystopian land of Britain earlier.
It gets dystopian.
And that is going to, yes, it gets worse, Robbie. This week, there was a Club Penguin remake that was shut down, and the people who who remade Club Penguin were arrested by London police. Now, Club Penguin, this was definitely after my time and presumably yours as well. Club Penguin was sort of it was like a flash game or something, like some kind of social media where
It's like
you make your own cartoon penguin and you stand on an iceberg or something. I don't know,
It's
Ryan. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it's like a Disney MMO, basically.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Apparently, it wasn't Disney at first. It was, I guess, it was made in 2005, and then Disney bought it in 2007. But basically, the game, or I don't even know if it's a game. It's just a place where you make your own penguin. You stand around and you say something, and then people also stand around and say stuff too.
I think that there were like game elements. I think that there was like, oh, it's like you're this character, and then there's like mini games or something like that, or.
So it's just the Miiverse, essentially. But with
Basically,
penguins.
I think so. Yeah.
I think at its height, what it was really good for was it had like very strong censorship. You know, maybe Elon Musk should buy Club Penguin because they would censor anything. And like what it was really specifically good for is you would go, okay, this is it. I'm gonna get banned from Club Penguin. Let me choose my words carefully. So. You'd be having a conversation, you'd screen grab the conversation, and then you would say the word like fuck, and then it would say you are now banned from Club Penguin, you know? So that was the height of comedy, you know? You say,
Sort of a badge of honor.
You say a bad word and you get kicked off and you go, yeah, I got banned from Club Penguin. That was the only thing it was good for.
Yeah, man. Congrats for swearing in front of a bunch of 6-year-olds and getting banned.
Yeah.
Anyway, this new remake is called Club Penguin Rewritten. It had 10 million users over the course of its run. The official webpage for the ill-fated game, where so many cartoon penguins once frolicked, is now home to nothing more than a brief statement, which is white text on a stark black background, which reads, "This site has been taken over by Operation Creative, Police Intellectual Property Crime Unit, PIPCU, which is referencing a department within the City Police of London." And I also, on the Google Doc here, I included the screenshot of it, where it is literally just the London Police logo on a black background, and it just says like this stark, you know, statement of we've taken over Club Penguin. Basically, it is like that. That's like gotta be like kind of traumatizing to be a kid who like this is your outlet for like social connection, especially in a time where people are like confined to indoors and there's a virus and everything.
Right.
You're like, okay, fine, Club Penguin's gone. Hey, somebody else made Club Penguin. I can see my old friends on the internet, on the iceberg. We can talk and we can hang out and we can not swear. And then you go to the website and it's just this black screen with white text that says, "We have seized your fucking shit. We have seized your property. We have seized your iceberg." And at the bottom is this powered by GoDaddy. I'm not even kidding about that. It does. City of speaking of city websites, the city of London is apparently powered by GoDaddy.
Yeah, that's promising.
So, yeah.
So the reason that it was seized was because it was just a copyright.
Because Disney.
Oh,
yeah, because Disney. Yeah. So yeah, since they had purchased Club Penguin a number of years ago, they saw somebody else getting in on it, and they're like, "Nope, we're sending in the city of London,
Scotland Yard,
going to seize it." Yeah, basically. And I mean, this is like, not only are the polar ice caps melting, but the iceberg that all the penguins and Club Penguin would stand on is now been melted as well and seized by the PIPCU.
I love the idea that
Police Intellectual Property Crime Unit.
Did y'all watch the BBC Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch? Are you familiar with it at all?
Yeah.
No. Didn't we talk shit about this for like a while on recent something, Grant?
Yeah, but like the whole premise of that is like, what if Sherlock, but like modern day, because he's like Victorian era, he wears a top hat, he smokes a pipe, whatever, blah blah blah. What if he was modernized and it's like, oh, it's got this new like edge to it or whatever. Just imagining.
Hey,
like
if he's not wearing the brown floppy hat, I'm out.
Yeah. Imagining. The fucking
derby.
Yeah, I forgot. Well, I think that I'd watched like whatever some. Does Robert Downey Jr.'s character wear like a top hat, or am I thinking of?
Oh, you're talking about the movie?
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking
great question.
about.
He does in some. I think he does in the early movie, the first movie, and then by the third one, he's like shirtless.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's like slow motion, shirtless, like boxing like homeless people for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
The fuck was that movie?
I don't know, man, but yeah, it'd be great if it's like, oh, the modern version, and it's like you send Sherlock to go shut down Club Penguin.
Yeah, grim stuff, man. Grim stuff.
It's a long walk to get there, but I'm there with you.
Yeah.
No, I think I got a punishment for this.
Yeah.
I think that there's so many CSI spinoffs and everything. I got one here. We're going to base it off of this, like you said, Grant. Sherlock can be there. That's fine. But we're going to call this one CSI PIPCU, which again stands for Police Intellectual Property Crime Unit. Now, this can apply to things where it's like, somebody makes like a fan-made Mario Flash game. And these people like bust down their doors and just like slit the guy's throat, because they uploaded a picture of Mario to the computer without Miyamoto's permission.
I mean, yeah, that'd rule. I would watch that more than I would watch like normal CSI.
Absolutely. CSI PIPCU. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming this might just be based to Britain, but we could. I'm sure we could figure it out over here. We got the budget for it. Anyway, let's move on to our key to the city, which is something nice, something swell, something positive we'd like to shed a little bit of light on. A little bit of a chaser after the devastating news of the Club Penguin icebergs melting. My key to the city this week goes to the actor Mads Mickelson. Now, Mads is a favorite of mine. I loved his performance in Death Stranding.
You love that Dumbledore movie?
I haven't seen it, nor will I. So I think this news piece came out because he's in the Dumbledore movie.
Yeah.
Where he called Mads Mikkelsen. This is from Discussing Film. Mads Mikkelsen calls method acting, quote, bullshit. And he says here, what if it's a shit film? What do you think you've achieved? Am I impressed you didn't drop the character? You should have dropped it from the beginning. And I think this is funny because it's also like directly like throwing some shade at
Jared
Leto, for example. Like,
yeah.
Like Suicide Squad came out, it was a total flop. Everybody hated the Joker in that movie. He was in the movie for like 8 minutes tops. All for like 2 years of a news cycle where it's like, yeah, I got a dead rat in the mail. That was pretty nasty. Thanks, Jared.
It's hilarious.
Good luck on Morbius.
Yeah. Have y'all seen Morbius?
No.
No, I haven't. No.
Have you?
No.
No.
I mean, I don't have time to watch movies.
Hey, no spoilers.
I'm pretty sure he becomes the Morbius.
I think so. I think we can say that I think that was in the trailer though, so it's probably safe to say.
Yeah. Famous line, I am the Morbius.
I am Morbius.
See, that's going to actually be the name of the reboot that they do in a few years when Disney actually gets the IP back. They're going to call it the
God,
Morbius.
it's also fucking tragic, man. Like the Morbius or I am Morbius, and we just come around to like, and they're going to recast Jared Leto, and it's going to be somebody who didn't spend like 13 months in a bat cave to get ready for the role. And you know what? Fuck it. They're going to cast Mads Mickelson to do it too, and he'll do a better fucking job.
I was going to say they'll probably do Tom Hardy. Give him like another weird mouth to have.
Oh yeah, and that's a specialty too. Weird mouth, weird voice. Yeah, that's sort of his whole thing.
Yeah,
gotta love him. I think the world is a better place because of him and his weird choices.
I agree.
Yeah,
just put him in a gimp suit, make him do a funny voice. It'll be a better movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, Robbie, what is your key to the city? Something positive, something nice, something cool you saw anywhere. It doesn't have to be the internet. It could be anything.
I don't know. I just so I have a son, and he is just about to turn 2, and I take him to this garden up close to the mountains in LA, and they have a toy train that like runs around the garden, which hasn't been running basically for the last year, but he started to say train tracks, so I was like, I did a good job. I did a good job as a parent.
Get him he's going to be a regular on transit Twitter in no time.
Absolutely. I was like, he's going to be, and I've taken him on long train rides too, so it's also it's all this work and all those expensive Amtrak bedroom tickets really paid off.
He's finally absorbed your hobby into himself.
He is me.
I feel like one time there was this like theme park or something, I forget what it was. It was like somewhere like in Chicagoland. It was like some like pirate themed theme park. And I remember we went there for my birthday one year, and my family and I.
Was it a mini golf?
My little brother. I don't remember. It might have had a mini golf. I don't know, but they had one of those miniature train tracks and like those little like kids trains, and like my little brother was like 3 or 4 years old at the time, and we left him on the train. The train was going around this course, and my parents took me to go see something else, and then we came back to go pick my brother up, and the train was off the rails on its side. Like all these kids were crying and like crawling out of, like, it wasn't wreckage, but like they were like crawling out of like the fallen over train, and we're like, oh my god, and we like ran in there to find my little brother, and thankfully he was okay. But I just like, I have that image like burned in my head of like walking over there and seeing this like little like 5 foot tall train like on its side off the rails, and all these parents like searching for their kids among the fucking like disaster
amongst the rubble.
Yeah,
they're just one of those resurfaced memories. I'm like, mini train. I'm like, oh my god.
And that's why we need regular $1 trillion infrastructure bills.
Yeah.
So just one every 20
We can never
years.
let a tragedy like that happen again.
Absolutely.
Grant, what's your key to the city?
My key to the city, I'm going to piggyback off yours, Kevin. My key to the city this week goes to Robert Pattinson, who similarly about method acting had said, how come method actors only method act assholes? Which is like true, like...
It's because they're such nice guys in real life, obviously.
Yeah, it's like, you never heard like, oh, Tom Hanks method acted Mr. Rogers, and for just an entire year of his life as he was shooting this film, he was just the nicest guy to be around. He was just soft-spoken and pleasant and very kind and thoughtful and slow to anger, and just was very just like an uplifting. You never hear that. It's always like, yeah, I sent people used condoms in the mail because that's what the Joker would do. It's like, why do you have to method act the asshole all the time, or the
Also, that's
the
not
stupid
what the Joker
guy?
would do.
Right.
Yeah, for real.
What universe?
The Joker is not like a pervert in the comics. He's just
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, unless there's like a comic book, like what was it, like Last Halloween or the Long Halloween or something. He's like, oh yeah, he sent Batman a box of bullets and a dead fucking raccoon. It's like, that's not like, no.
Yeah.
Right.
There's I'm sure you guys are familiar with that Laurence Olivier quote that from a conversation that he had with Dustin Hoffman about method acting.
I don't think I've heard it.
Okay, so it's I can't remember what the picture was, but it was Dustin Hoffman and him are working together, and Dustin Hoffman comes on set and he's tired. He's like, yeah, I stayed up all night. And Laurence Olivier goes, why'd you do that? Dustin Hoffman says, well, because my character is tired. And then Laurence Olivier takes a beat and goes, my dear boy, have you ever tried acting?
I actually think I am familiar with,
Yeah.
Because it is like, yeah, the whole point of acting is to act, correct? Like,
It's pretending, basically.
yeah, you don't need to pretend, to just do the pretend. Like, that's what acting
it's kind of cheating in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Well, let's move on to our Thought Cops Word of the Week, the educational portion of the show. This week's Word of the Week is preboot. Preboot is a portmanteau of prequel and reboot. A preboot is a film in a series that takes place before its predecessor, but also tries to rewrite the history of the series as well. You know, one good example would be, what if the Joker was a pervert? You know, maybe he wasn't before, but he is now, and he always was now. Preboot.
Good word.
Anywho, before we get to our final segment, which is our listener voicemails, Robbie, if you want to plug everything you got, your campaign to fund Dance Freak, any of your social media, anything you want to share.
I mean, just go to the probably the easiest way to get there is to go to the Dance Freak movie Instagram account, and there's a link there for the Indiegogo page. If you just go to Indiegogo and search for Dance Freak, guess what? There's not a lot of things called Dance Freak, so it's probably going to be your top option.
You'll find it.
Yeah. And,
What's the Instagram handle?
Dance Freak movie.
Cool.
And it is a movie that I wrote and Alan Resnick is producing, and it is going to be a wild and crazy fun time, low budget horror movie that it's the first time that we've done a feature, or we've done something. It's kind of the first time that we've just made something that's a bit straight. You know what I mean? It's like there's no gimmicks besides just the fact that it's a low budget movie. We've got some interesting stuff that we know how to do with the editing and special effects, and we'll probably have some other interesting elements in there. Some interesting people are going to be in it, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a movie that you'll be able to watch with your friends and have a fine time. Just a fun.
And I feel like just doing it straight. Like I think we talked about that with Doug Pound the one time where he was saying like the funniest thing that they could do is like comedians is to just make a movie that's just not funny because you're expecting it to funny or be funny,
right?
And then the fact that it's like just straight up like just a good movie is almost like the funniest thing you could do. It's like the next logical step.
Yeah. And
I'm sure there'll still be some laughs, but
yeah. I mean, it's a horror movie, but it's from me and Alan, and we have things that we like that will be in it
for sure.
And that's it. I mean, it's going to be we're raising money for the next. I think it's a little less than 2 weeks now, and then we're going to start production.
Cool. Well, if you're listening to this the day it comes out, go fund it because I want to see this movie. I donated to this movie. I want to see it happen. Let's make it happen
for Fire
again.
Bros.
Oh, hell yeah, that'd be awesome. I love that we have like different people we know who are making movies that we can like, watch and then promote and then like help get made and stuff too, because there should be more good stuff out there. Not everything can be Morbius, unfortunately, but there's other stuff out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little like Morbius.
Okay. I mean, a little Morbius goes a long way in my opinion. But yeah, with that being said, we'll include a link to everything in our episode description as well. If you guys would like to leave us a voicemail, give us a call. Our phone number is 312-788-7361, or you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. So without further ado, let's hit it.
Hello, Thought Cops. It is I, Dill Leo Vertex, to the Incredible, coming to you with another thought crime.
Sounds different.
And that thought crime is...
Yeah, it does.
Fucking coolant reservoirs keep cracking. God damn it. I can't...
What?
I don't want to pay another $300 to get it swapped out.
Jesus.
My punishment is better reservoirs.
So, his coolant reservoirs...
On a vehicle?
I guess so.
I think so. Yeah, because he said he had to get it swapped out. So his 2 minutes of hate this week is coolant reservoirs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I can't think of a punishment. So that was fan of the
Dillio.
show. Dillio.
Dilbert.
Text.
Some hybrid of two people who listen to the show who are regulars.
All right. God bless you, son.
Sorry about your coolant.
Yeah.
Wish I could help.
It looks like he left another voicemail here. I guess we'll go ahead and see what this one's all about.
Hello, Thought Cops, once again.
Okay.
As
There we
always, as I do for you, the Incredible, gracing your voicemail, and it's a pleasure as always. Gentlemen, Thought Crime.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a big one. This is one that's been making the news.
I'm nervous.
And maybe I've even called in about this before, but I think it needs to be restated, reiterated, and pointed out once again. The Thought Crime, gentlemen, is that you can dictate to anybody how they spend their money. What gives anybody the right to dictate to another person that this is how their money
Is this about the
spent?
Twitter thing?
Now, just to clarify,
takeaway? The Twitter thing?
I think it is, yeah.
Absolutely. In regard to our good friend, Elon Musk.
He's not my good friend.
Sorry, who?
$7 billion offer on Twitter to buy it out, to make it his own. I say let the man do what he wants with his $47 billion. Lord knows.
We don't care either.
Ruin the website.
$47 billion on ourselves. But to think that there's groups out there that are trying to tell him better ways to spend his $47 billion.
Well, he should, probably, yeah.
Ludicrous and a bit insane.
He doesn't have to.
Let him spend the money.
Go for it.
It doesn't need to be what people are saying. If you gave all that money to every American, and
Oh,
it really doesn't matter. Don't tell people
Leo doesn't want
their money.
Okay.
It's not right. It's not good. I don't think we should be doing that. You can spend your money how you want, and he can spend his money how he wants. That's my message,
dance
gentlemen.
freak.
That's what I
Go fund it.
Come on, Elon.
I hope you boys have a wonderful Saturday.
Give me some of that South African gemstone money.
Let's make it happen. Well, thank you for the voicemail, Leo. Again, I don't really care if he buys the website. I think, and you know what the thing about it though is, like, Elon is such a big like free speech guy, so I think that he should be okay with people who are complaining about how he spends the money. So you know,
he should
people
be
are gonna.
With that, yeah.
That's what Twitter is for. If he wants to buy up Twitter so bad, he needs to understand that Twitter is made for complaining, and that's part of the job. You know.
Well,
it's like buying a dog. It's a lot of responsibility, but you're gonna have to, a dog is a lot of fun, but you're gonna have to clean up after its mess. You're gonna have to clean up its poo-poo and stuff, and that's what you're gonna buy Twitter. It's gonna be a lot of poo to clean up, and it's gonna be a lot of it on you.
Time and time again, anytime there's been like a Twitter alternative that's like, we're the free speech Twitter, they like ban a bunch of people that like don't adhere to their like rigorous guidelines or whatever, and they're just gonna, if he buys
like swearing on Club Penguin.
If he buys it, it's just going to turn into like shitty Parler, which is just going to be like, okay, well, looks like people are getting banned for saying things anyway, so it looks like nothing changed really.
Man, he isn't going to spend a day at that office if he buys it. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Matter of fact, probably again, like you said, nothing will change because he will never go, and he'll just be like, it'll just be a little trophy on his shelf. Hey, I own Twitter.
Did I? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe you'll be able to put some like wallpaper on your homepage or something.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
There you go.
I was gonna say,
and then we'll all learn the code again.
During the main segment, I forgot to bring this up, but I feel like this is like a vital part that we sort of skipped over, is that Elon Musk is really mad at this one like 19-year-old kid that's like tracking his flight patterns. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he just wants to buy Twitter to kick that kid off, and then he'll sell it. Like, that's my big
I never heard about
theory.
this.
Yeah, it was big news. He's offering him like kind of a pittance of money to be like, hey, take this account down, and he's been like trying to get this account taken down. But there's a kid in college that's just been like posting Elon Musk's like flight logs just directly to Twitter. I guarantee you he's just gonna like buy it and then like kick the kid off and then be like, okay, I'm done. I don't need the website anymore.
Is it that same kid that's doing all those like open source intelligence like readings that are there's like he's like sending back to like the Ukrainian army intelligence?
I have no idea. I think
and that kid's name was Edward Snowden.
Oh man, no, it's actually some like kid from Birmingham, Alabama.
It could be. I'm not 100% sure, but
hey, you guys gotta look that up.
Yeah.
And we got one last voicemail, Grant?
Yeah, one last one here.
Hey, cops, it's Serial Law Bear, and my 2 minutes of hate today is bureaucracy.
Okay. It's a common theme this episode.
1 minute late to check my bag for my flight, and now I'm not getting home until 7 hours later.
Man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But silver lining is I got to see a guy's dog shit right on the floor in the airport.
That is fun.
So yeah, I guess the punishment is just I don't know, be a little flexible, be human.
Yeah.
Delta employees. Thanks. Bye.
See you.
I mean, I know it's a hard job working at the airport, but man, they are so rude. And I got this thing where like whenever I go through TSA, like because usually I fly with my Switch because I'm a child, I have to play my Game Boy on the plane.
It's a thing to do.
Every time I go through TSA, because I have a holding case for it, and every time I go through, you know, they're like, take it out of the case. Okay, sure. I take it out, I put it in the bin. The next time I fly, don't take it out, put it in. Oh, yeah, okay. And then I fly again, they're like, you got to take it out. You can't leave it in there. And then the next time it's like,
oh my God,
leave it in, leave your shoes on, leave your belt on. It's like, what the hell is happening?
With the fucking shoes, where it's like for most of my adult life at this point, you had to take your fucking shoes off, and they're like, no, leave those on. And it's like, you're the one that told me to take them off.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do have to.
Yeah.
Take one shoe off, put one on your head, you know, spin around in the circle while we, you know, see if you're carrying a fucking bomb in your pocket, and then come on in.
It's funny too, because it's like they're the ones that like make and change the rules, but they get it's like when you watch like a friend get really mad at something that they're doing themselves, like, you know, like I don't know why my job keeps doing this, I should just quit. And you go, yeah, you should quit your job. And they go, no, I can't quit my job. And it's like, you see how you're causing yourself stress? Like they're doing that, but they're the TSA. They're like, guys, take your shoes off. And it's like, you did that. I'm not the reason you're mad at yourself. You fix the problem.
No, I know his voicemail wasn't specifically about how the employees at the airport are rude. I just had to get that off my chest. But you were, you know, I know you mentioned this in the Discord as well. You were late to your flight.
Oop.
I know you took a little bit of responsibility for that, but that does suck where it's like 1 minute costs you at least another 7 hours of like sitting in purgatory.
Dude,
you know,
I was stuck at the airport once for 16 hours.
It's brutal. I mean, like when I did fly to Japan, there was like an odd freak blizzard in April, and then I was stuck there for like 9 or 10 hours. And I'm like, up the one fucking day, it snows. And I'm missing Cherry Blossom Festival, Grant.
You want to talk about delays, you got to take the Amtrak north from New Orleans to Washington, D.C. see some serious delays on that line, that stretch.
Man, is it? I was going to ask, like, I was going to say flying on a train. Is taking a train like more seamless than taking a plane, or are there actually more delays?
There are far more delays, for sure.
Man.
But you don't have to take your shoes off.
No, that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. And if you got a little bit of extra scratchy scratch, you get to have a little bed. So that ain't too bad.
Ooh. Grant, we should get one of those like private like rooms on one of the trains and just like take the train cross country and record episodes in our little booth.
There was a group of indie video game developers that used to do something called Train Jam, I think it was.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was they would get on the train in Chicago and ride it to San Francisco, and everybody that was on the Train Jam would spend that, I think it's like a 60-hour ride, maybe a little bit less than that. They would make a game in that time.
Oh, I've heard of like game jams where you get like a weekend to make something, but like that's cool that it's like
Train Jam.
Yeah.
Before we stopped doing electronic game information, I really wanted to do an episode where we rode along with the Train Jam crew. Alas.
I was going to bring that up earlier. I was also a fan of that. That was like the kind of faux video game news thing.
Yeah. Well, not faux, just...
Well,
I mean, I
suppose.
I just refuse to talk. I refuse to talk about the current news.
Yeah.
Yeah. But such is life.
Such is life. And that is our voicemail segment as well. Again, if that inspired you, give us a call, 312-788-7361. Or you could always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. And again, that number is 312-788-7361. And if you want to support the show, get a backlog of bonus content, and be in the live episode chats here with us, head on over to patreon.com/thoughtcops. I want to give a thank you to patron this week, Joey Guacamole. Welcome
back.
And I want to also give a shout out to someone who donated to us on Ko-fi, which we also have a Ko-fi in the episode description, IO Netrunner. Thank you. Why do those two names sound so familiar, Grant? I wonder.
I've never heard those names, I don't think, in my life. No.
Anyway, Robbie, thank you again. Great guys. We'd love to hear some more Discord news maybe one day. Robbie, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it, taking the time with us for your Saturday morning.
Sorry for all the technical stuff on my end.
No, it's way better.
This was the smoothest episode we've done in months.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
All right.
So it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
We actually have the live chat going here too. So you know what? Maybe things are going to be trending upwards.
Yeah.
It's looking up. It's looking up.
Grant,
everybody check out Dance Freak.
Yeah, everybody check out Dance Freak. And also, Grant, don't forget to file a tax extension for yourself.
Maybe I should.
It's not the worst thing in the world. You pay a little interest on your whatever you owe, but that's about it.
Whatever. Everything
you can turn your homework in late. You'll be fine.
Whatever. Yeah. Fuck them. All right.
Thank you to everybody who listened. Thank you to those who donated on Patreon. We'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Space Cop.
Thanks again.
Later.